If there's anything the racing community loves, it's controversy. And on Monday the 14th of September this year, the very night before the Le Mans Esports Series Super Finals were due to begin, a battle royale of words was taking place behind closed doors among professional team drivers, Pro-Am drivers and event organisers about one particular trick in Forza Motorsport which is considered a massive exploit. And before you guess, we are not talking about the infamous handbrake turn used in past Forza Racing Championships. What racing trick in Forza was banned? Clutch kicking. Now if you're not aware, clutch kicking can give players a massive advantage over their competitors when driving certain cars in Forza Motorsport. There are two practical uses of hitting the clutch whilst holding on the acceleration, and for those who haven't used the trick before, let me show you both. The first and most common use of clutch kicking is to help rotate cars that understeer a lot around corners. Most commonly, old rear-wheel drive cars such as the 1956 Ferrari Testarossa and rear engine mounting cars, basically every Porsche 911. How does clutch kicking work? Whilst midway around a turn or during the exit, kicking the clutch will pump up the RPMs, making the engine deliver more power to the wheels to intentionally produce some oversteer. This is to correct the understeer that the car is naturally suffering from. It is similar to simply lifting the throttle to gain more traction whilst turning, which every driver already does, but clutch kicking is more effective on cars that have poor suspension setups or are generally slow at responding to driver inputs. This takes practice to get good at, as doing it incorrectly can cause too much oversteer and make the corner exits very unstable. But when done right, it can save you tenths of seconds in moments where the only other option is to drastically reduce speed to make a corner, which you don't want to do when battling another car. Now the second use of clutch kicking is rarely used, but this exploit drew so much attention to some Le Mans Esports teams that they had to raise it with the adjudicators ahead of time, and then all hell broke loose on Discord among everyone. Let me show you what it is and how it's done. Okay guys, so just to give a very quick demonstration of how it appears, we are going to use the experimental drag, which you can find in replay, and I am going to show you the Jaguar D-Type. So this was a C-Class car that was used in the very first race on segment 1 of the Le Mans Esports Racing Super Finals. So what we'll find is that the Jaguar suffers a lot of bog on the first gear, and the reason being is because the first gear is incredibly long. So what we're going to do is see what's the difference between us just driving it normally and then driving it and clutch kicking to try and push faster across the rev range. So here we are. As we go, you can see the rev is just trawling away. It feels like it takes a long time to get up to speed. So even after liftoff, the revs only touch about 1000 RPM. Finally shift up into second gear, and now we're going to finish the race with a 15.6. So let's not focus on the total time. Let's look at the elapsed time there, which is 15 seconds, 0.432. Now we're going to try it again with clutch kicking, and I will show you how it's done whilst we are doing it. So simply put, after we have basically launched from the car, the moment that we feel that the revs have gone down to the bottom, we are just given a little kick by tapping that A button. It doesn't have to be many times, but as you can see, we're getting up to speed a lot quicker. Already in second gear, let's see how this takes a difference on the elapsed time. As you can see, 14.932. So that's already over half a second's difference, and if you practice it properly, you can save a lot of time. So you can see why now clutch kicking was such a big deal, because especially in the Jaguar D-Type around the Le Mans Bugatti circuit, there are plenty of corners where drivers need to go down into first gear. So if you can imagine that some players are clutch kicking in first gear out of one in every few turns compared to someone who doesn't, they can make up to as much as a second per lap, which kicked up all of this fuss. Due to this, organisers ruled out that after cars reached turn 1, i.e. the Dunlop chicane, All players were banned from using clutch kicking, otherwise they would be disqualified from the entire event. Now you know what clutch kicking is, what do you think about the two ways this technique can be used? Have you ever used it? Do you think it's a glitch or exploit that should be removed from the game? Tell me in the comments below. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not already, subscribe to this channel so you can stay in the loop for racing tips, techniques, setup guides and more in my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching fellow racers, see you in the next video.